It's back. It's been a little while, Scuba Steve.
Oh, yeah, we're just holidays, you know.
I tell you. But we are talking about something pretty larger than life this morning, if I can say that. Manatees.
Yeah, larger than us, but they're great.
There you go. There you go. Fun little creatures. Of course, you can check them out if you're scuba diving.
Yeah, you can check out manatees if you're a diver, but most people, since they hang out in really shallow water, most people just snorkel.
There you go.
But they're always in, I don't think a manatee's ever been spotted in deeper than 20 foot of water.
Really?
They stay in the shallow waters. They stay along the coastlines. They're herbivores. So
and we don't have them here in Georgia, do we?
Yes, we do, on the coast.
Do?
On the coast. They
Wow.
range, in the summer months, they will range all the way up to around Massachusetts even.
Goodness.
And as far west as Texas.
Wow.
But usually in the winter, they come back in because manatees do not like to be in water that's colder than, say, 68 degrees.
Can't say I blame them.
Well, and 68 degrees is all our spring water. You know, Florida is full of springs. So they go up into the rivers or where these spring-fed rivers are, and they can maintain a little bit of body temperature there because they are mammals.
Okay.
All right, and they do breathe air.
There you go, and you can see just in this picture just how shallow of water he's in right now.
They're usually in the shallow water like that. He's in a little sandy bottom there.
Aww.
Here's one out a little bit deeper, and a couple of divers getting some good pictures of them.
You can see how big they are. Any idea how big they get?
Okay, they range typically from 8 to 12 feet, but have been recorded at 15 feet long.
Holy cow.
And you'll notice their body, they have a big, flat, broad tail. And they have two flippers, or like arms, and they actually have nails on those little pads.
Really?
They have 3 to 4 claws or toenails on those pads. And they have been seen to come up on those arms on the edge of the banks out of the water to kind of feed on grasses.
Oh, look at
Here's another little guy.
Is that two?
That is two. That
Okay.
is the mom's called the cow. In fact, they're nicknamed the sea cow.
I love that.
And they're actually in the elephant family. They're related to elephants, and they move about as slow as elephants do too. You see, they have a lot of whiskers on their nose there. Very little beady eyes, and they have no visible ears, although they do see and hear rather well.
Okay.
The calves are born. They're usually around 3 to 4 feet long. They nurse.
Pretty big baby.
That's a big baby. The gestation period is around a year.
Okay.
And they feed on mother's milk. They are mammals. They feed underwater naturally because they never leave the water.
Okay.
Manatees stay in the water their whole lives. But the baby will nurse for up to 2 years, and they have to come to the surface to breathe, though. So they're nursing underwater, then they have to come up to breathe.
Goodness, well, we have so much more to talk about manatees. Again, those, what was it, elephants of the sea?
No, sea cows.
Sea cows, excuse me. This elephant family is looking like a hippo, but goodness, manatees. We are going to be talking more Scuba Steve coming up in just a few minutes. We'll be back with more Good Day. Stick around. Thanks, Kelly. Well, we are back with Scuba Steve from the Dive Shop, talking all about manatees this week. Of course, Scuba Steve comes on every other week sharing the wonders of the underwater world with us. And now we're talking about sea cows.
Sea cows, manatees. The reason we're talking about them basically today is that it's cold winter. The Gulf and the Atlantics are getting a little bit cold. Like I said, the manatees don't like to be in water colder than 68.
Sure.
So right now, during January and February is the main time that they come up into the springs in Florida.
Got it.
So
shallower weather, warmer water. Excuse me, shallower water, warmer water.
Water that comes out of the ground is never colder than 68 degrees. So
I like that.
They've got a nice, clear, clean water, although they can live in brackish and salt water.
Okay.
And we'll see them around the Keys. They're prolific in the Caribbean.
Oh.
They range all the way down to South America.
Okay.
There are basically 3 different types of manatees, or species. The one is the West Indies, which is what we have on our coast. There is a African manatee species, and then one that's specific to the Amazon.
Oh.
So there are basic 3 types of manatees. They are herbivores. We got a shot here of one feeding on the bottom.
Oh.
We talked about they do weigh about 1,000 pounds, and they will eat in a 24-hour period about 1/10 of their body weight.
Now, if say snorkeler or a scuba diver is down there and they come across a manatee.
Yeah.
Should people be afraid? Should you kind of get out of the way?
No, should not be afraid. The manatees will interact with people.
Okay.
Here we see another mom and a calf. But the manatee is protected by the Florida Marine Wildlife Protection Act.
Okay. I just want to point out this fish that's on the bottom.
Yeah, the little brown.
Uh-oh, I'm a little smaller than this manatee.
He doesn't have anything to worry about. They are just strictly herbivores, although they will ingest a few crustaceans and small fish in their feeding on the grasses. But to approach a manatee, just swim along, and if they want to come up and if they want to be near you, they will come over to you.
Aww.
And a lot of times the little calves are playful, but if you do get out in the water and you approach a manatee, be aware that they do have their calves with them in the springs this time of the year, and the mom may take and push you away a little bit.
Okay.
But I have been out snorkeling and trying to interact with the manatees a little bit, and they'll come over to you, and a lot of times they may just roll up on their side and want you to scratch them below their flipper there. So they're docile animals. They have no fear. They have no natural enemies, basically, other than man.
Okay.
We're encroaching a lot on their habitat as they have to come to these springs and warmer waters to live during the winter. And as they develop, and you have more boat traffic.
Absolutely.
Boat traffic is the one thing that's bad on the manatees. The props, interaction with watercraft, whether they hit a hull, or the props. As we know, they do not have ears, although they can hear, but they're real slow.
Goodness.
They only go about 5 miles an hour, but they can burst up to 15 miles an hour.
Oh, Speedy Gonzalez over there. All right, well, fascinating. Thank you so much, Scuba Steve, for sharing your information about manatees. Of course, get out there, snorkel or scuba dive, and if you're not certified to scuba dive, get on over there to the dive shop, and they can teach you. We'll be back with more Good Day. Stick around.